What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow me on TikTok, all that good stuff. So let's get into this one. In the aftermath now of Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, this one I just want to talk in brief about what should be or what could be next for Conor Benn. Now, Conor Benn, after his victory over Chris Eubank Jr., a very, very comprehensive victory, decent performance by Conor Benn. He pretty much shut Chris Eubank Jr. out completely. You might give maybe a round to Chris Eubank Jr. or maybe two if you're generous. But yeah, it was a whitewash by Conor Benn. And yeah, this one, in terms of who's going to be next for him, I know there's been a lot of talk about Mario Barrios. I think he looked like he was calling someone on FaceTime after the fight. There's been rumors that it might have been Mario Barrios saying, "Oh, you're next, you're next." Um, Now, for me, I think yeah, he could take a fight like that next. He could, but I would say it would be a bit of a risk simply because um, Conor Benn might struggle. I think he will struggle to get down back to welterweight to 147 because we have to remember it's been a number of years now. I think it's been, I would say, about at least roughly 3 years, maybe 4 years since he's actually made welterweight. So for him to just go now from comfortably making 160 to go straight down to welterweight now, immediately in his next fight, I think that would be a mistake because again, he's not done the weight for a few years now. So I think if I'm in his shoes or in his management's promotional shoes, I would sort of think, okay, we want to get to 147. I think 154 is going to be, there's too many sharks, too many good fighters in 154. Even Fundora, Ennis is there, Virgil Ortiz is there. There's just too many good fighters at 154. But if he talks about welterweight, that's where he belongs really. But I'd say you take sort of a warm up fight or someone who's not one of the world champions at welterweight first and acclimatize to the weight. So I'd say you should probably take one or two fights at welterweight against not the best competition just to get himself used to making that weight again. And then once you've done that, once you've sort of proven you can do the weight again, you can do welterweight again, you've had a few successful fights there, even if they're against nobodies or the guys that are not that great, whatever. Whoever they're against doesn't matter. The main thing is that you're acclimatized to the weight. And I think once he's done a fight or two at welterweight or perhaps one at 154 against whoever, and then down again, down at welterweight, and just gradually get back into that weight. Because for me, I think that's where it could be a mistake. If he just rushes and jumps into a Barrios fight next, I think that's where he could come unstuck. Although Barrios is not the greatest of fighters, but I think just that weight making could hurt Conor Benn there. So yeah, for me, I think you have a fight or two at welterweight or maybe one at 154, then you get down to welterweight and gradually sort of make your way back into the weight, settle in, and then you go for a guy like a Mario Barrios because even a Rolly Romero would be a good opponent for Conor Benn because he's also quite limited. I suppose Rolly Romero is quite limited, but he can punch a bit. So that would be a bit of a risky fight, but one that Conor Benn could win. And same with Barrios. Not the greatest fighters, but I think he'd stand a good chance of beating someone like a Mario Barrios at this point. So yeah, for me, I say have a fight or two down in weight, and then you go on to move on to a Barrios or something like that. Because I think if he goes on to it next, he could come unstuck just because of the weight cut. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out. Catch you on the next.